TNR Nicotron here, and we are going to be playing episode 3 of The Uncle Who Works for Nintendo. So we've had Undefined Error as ending 1, we've had Run for ending 2. We want to try and get one of these three, number 3, 4 or 5. So we are going to restart at 7 in the den again. Right. Think about Andrew's uncle. Right, we got Mew. Okay, we've done all this. Construction crews, bad storm. When did Andrew move? Oh, you agreed. You snap out of your reflections. Talk to Andrew. Ask if Andrew thinks this storm will be as bad as the last one. I don't know what you're talking about, says Andrew. You don't remember? Remember what? The storm, it happened a few weeks ago. It was huge. Took down trees. I actually forgot until tonight there was this huge storm a few weeks ago, I think. Let's go for the top one. The storm, it happened a few weeks ago. It was huge. It took down trees. Andrew shakes his head. If it was important, I'm sure I would have remembered it, he says. You fall silent. What would you like to talk about? I want to ask him again about that. I don't like the sound of the wind. Do you remember that we had that storm? I don't remember what you're talking about. You don't remember? I actually forgot until tonight there was this huge storm a few weeks ago, I think. Andrew shakes his head. If it was in... Okay, cool. So he doesn't want to persist with that. School. Andrew tells you that he had a teacher you both had the grade before is in the hospital. You ask why. Okay, fine. What time is it? It's 8. I'm not going to lie. I want to go to the kitchen. No, I don't want to go in the fridge. No, fine. Just wandering around the house randomly. Oh, Andrew's mother. Okay. Okay, she's gone. So why is your uncle coming? What sort of business? What does Nintendo do here? Andrew pauses the game and turns when you visibly agitated. Sure, I believe you. I don't believe your uncle works for Nintendo. You involuntarily flinch. Andrew shakes his head as if remembering something. Never mind, he says. Just never mind. You want to say something more, but he is already immersed in the video game. You take a breather. Why? No. The clock chimes. It begins raining outside. Right, it's 10 o'clock. Come on. You remember the storm, asks Andrew. Yeah, you say, nodding. But no one remembers the storm, he says. Could you please stop messing with me? It was big, it took down trees. That's impossible, Andrew says. Impossible, no one remembers it. But I do. Andrew shakes his head. No, you don't understand. Please, I'm not messing with you, but this is important. But this is different. Something's different, he said. No one would remember the storm. Who? He came out of the storm. I was home alone, Andrew begins, his eyes growing distant. Mum was at work. Dad was out at the bar. Listen, you were alone. I remember you were alone. You had a brother, didn't you? You remember him too? Andrew asks. He saw it first, the flash from his bedroom window. He pauses. But I was the one who answered the door. We fought sometimes, says Andrew, but I wonder sometimes, you know, if he'd answered the door instead of me, would he have eventually done what I did to him? What did you do? We got in a fight, Andrew explains. It was a fight over how I was getting all the cool stuff from my uncle. I think he was starting to remember, like you. What did you do? Andrew won't look at you. I told my uncle to get rid of him, and he did. I want to go home. No, Andrew says. You can't. He's already on his way. There it is, like a voice. Not something you hear exactly, but still somewhere in the back of your head. Andrew heard it too. See? He asked. See? He's almost here. I'm calling my mum. Passing through the empty dining room, you enter the kitchen where the phone sits on the counter. You call Mum. You dial your mum's work number and wait. She picks up after 3 rings. I want to go home. Really, honey? She asks. Yes. She sighs heavily. Of course, she says. I'll call the sitter. She'll probably be there in an hour. Now really, I have to go. She hangs up. Return to the den and pack your things. You return to the den. Andrew is sitting silently on the floor as you come in. You're leaving, aren't you? He says. The joke you're playing is really mean. I should have known it was different, Andrew mumbles. You were remembering too much. Begin packing your stuff. Please, said Andrew. Please don't go. I've never not fed him, and if I don't, I'm not sure what will happen. So you just want me to get eaten or whatever? Shut up and leave me alone. Continue packing in silence. Why could you hear him? He asks, but it doesn't seem like he expects you to answer. You both lapse into an awkward silence. Eventually, a car honks outside. You get up to leave. Andrew has wandered over to the fireplace and is looking into its unlit depths as you walk out the door and into the night. The sitter's familiar car is parked out front. As you walk closer, you see your little sister in the back seat, still in her pyjamas. The sitter, a high school girl who lives down the street from you, looks incredibly unhappy to be here, but you think you'll be able to handle her. As you climb into the car, you cast one look over your shoulder, back to the house. The front door is closed. You suddenly can't remember if you did that yourself. The lights in the den are still burning. As the sitter pulls away from the house, you stare out the window at Andrew's house, the lights blurred and magnified by the rain streaming down the glass. Eventually, it all slides out of view. You find out the next afternoon about the fire. It started in the den, say the papers, where there was known to be a fireplace. Apparently it was left smouldering in the night. There was no supervisors. Arson is suspected, since an accelerant would have helped the flames overcome the night's heavy rains, but nothing definitive is ever publicly released on this account. One day after school, you ride your bike by to check it out. Parts of the house still stand, walls and beams blackened by the flames. Yellow caution tape has been looped around the outside, and the rubble hasn't yet been totally cleared out by the city. You decide to investigate. The second floor has either mostly burned away or fallen through, but standing in what used to be the den, you look up to the hole that would have been Andrew's room. The broken glass and charred drywall crunch beneath your feet, until you step on something that isn't glass. You look down. There in the mess is what looks like a Game Boy. It's a Game Boy Color. Not at all scuffed or damaged. In the back is the single cartridge, a copy of Pokemon Blue. You take Andrew's Game Boy. Looking from side to side as if someone might actually be watching, you pick up the Game Boy and flick on the power switch. After clicking through the Pokemon intro screens, you find there is no save game on the cart. It's like a brand new copy. You turn off the Game Boy and, stuffing it in your pocket, you return home. Your mum is standing in the kitchen when you arrive, doing dishes, and your little sister is watching some annoying cartoon. Remember to take a bath and get dressed before 7, Mum calls. Remember, you're fairly certain she never told you to do that in the first place. You walk into the kitchen, dropping your backpack on the linoleum floor. Why do I need to do all that? Silly, she says. Your mum turns from the sink to smile at you, and your throat tightens when you see how glassy and empty her eyes are. Don't you remember? She asks. Your uncle is coming over for dinner to celebrate his new job. Oh. While picking through the rubble of Andrew's burned down house, you find his old Game Boy and took it home. Coincidentally, your uncle has a new job. Lucky you. Oh God, so wow. Okay, so that Game Boy, I feel, has a significant part of all of this to do with the uncle. Repetition with a difference. It is not the time for running. Go where you're not wanted. Go where you've been told you can't go. Ah. Is that a hint for the next episode? We will find out on the next episode, guys.